Hello wrestling fans, YouTubers, and to my subscribers, it is I, Hollywood Eric 86 here with the Canvas Chaos breaking news segment that broke early this morning about 10:37 in the morning from my co-host, and that is that former WCW owner and founder and creator of TNT, TBS, and CNN, Ted Turner, sadly passed away at the age of 87. And I wanted to come on here and send my heartfelt condolences to the Turner family and to everything that he did in the world of entertainment, cable, satellite, and in the world of professional wrestling, because he was the part of the Monday Night War, the time in wrestling where wrestling had a second boom period, led by Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the NWO and stars like Sting, Total Package Lex Luger, the Steiner Brothers, Harlem Heat, everybody. He was part of that boom, that second boom in the world of wrestling that made wrestling what it is. And I just wanted to come on here and thank Ted Turner for his contributions to the world of professional wrestling and to what he did, because in 1980 he created the first 24-hour cable network in CNN, and that was one of the most watched ones for a while, and actually that set the standard for Fox News and what was MSNBC at the time now, and all them other ones like Newsmatch that are all around now. He set the standard, and there was no cable or satellite before Ted Turner. And when he created TBS, what was then known and I still call the Superstation, and he created that, and then he created TNT later on. TBS was the foundation for the world of professional wrestling in the 70s, and he was an avid supporter of pro wrestling. If it wasn't for him in the 70s, WCW at the time part of the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, would not have had the boom that it had in the 80s period on that channel in WTBS. Everybody wanted to tune in every Saturday night to see TBS and professional wrestling. And I know this is a different video and I'm doing it, from an intimate setting, but I had to get this done. I did not want to have this pass. I want to try to push out more videos for you, my viewing audience, and everything. But Ted, man, was he a part of that. And then in 1989, when Jim Crockett Promotions had to sell WCW, he bought it. And even though they struggled, in 1993, he hired an ambitious man by the name of Eric Bischoff. And along with his money and along with the mind of Eric Bischoff, WCW became the #1 wrestling promotion in the world and challenged and beat Vince McMahon in the ratings, causing Vince McMahon to change the way that he saw wrestling and creating his Attitude Era and creating the Monday Night Wars. And that lasted from September 4th, 1995 on the debut edition of Monday Nitro on his other network, TNT, Turner Network Television, to March 26th of 2001, that dark day that me and my co-host remember to this day, when WCW was bought by Vince McMahon. I will forever call Ted Turner the owner of WCW, because to us he was. If it wasn't for him, WCW wouldn't have been where it was at and would not have gotten in the position that it had behind him. And the people that he had around him, like Eric Bischoff and the wrestlers and everybody that he signed for the talent. He was an ambitious man, and he was an entrepreneur as well. He did a lot of entrepreneurial stuff. And then it's just hard to fathom Ted Turner not being here, because he was the entrepreneur of everything. And he did cable, because he created, if it wasn't for him, cable television and satellite wouldn't be where it's at today. But Ted Turner and the Turner family, I send my heartfelt condolences, because if it wasn't for you, there'd be no wrestling. WCW wouldn't have existed and would not have had the boom period it did in the Monday Night Wars behind your backing and behind your loyal support. He always supported WCW regardless. Even after he was bought out by AOL Time Warner and he was pushed out, he still had faith in WCW. And even after Time Warner did not want WCW on there anymore, he still supported wrestling and was an avid supporter of the product. And for that, I have the utmost respect for him. And I he will thoroughly be missed in the world of entertainment and in the world of professional wrestling and in the world of cable and satellite. He was a man who was ambitious enough to give TBS, the Superstation, the platform to have all them shows. He even had Atlanta Braves baseball. Even though he owned it, he had Atlanta Braves on that station for years. Had some memorable moments on that station with professional baseball as well. Even after he didn't own it, he still had Braves on there until about 2007, when they got their own Peachtree Network. At the time it was called, I don't know what it's called now, but at the time it was called the Peachtree Network, where they were on that channel instead of on TBS. But for years, that station was a Superstation. And then in 2019, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and an ambitious young billionaire by the name of Tony Khan created AEW and brought professional wrestling back on the Turner networks for the first time in 17 years at that point since WCW. And for that, I thank to Warner Discovery, even though I still call it Time Warner at times because it's a force of habit and everything. And I thank them for bringing professional wrestling back. And now I don't know about it's up in the air with AEW now with the merger with Paramount. Let's hope they still have a home on the network because they still draw numbers. I know it's probably not as high as it should be, but I've heard it's gotten higher, but I don't know for sure. But let's hope that they stay on the networks and professional wrestling lives on through the memory of Ted Turner and his ambitious and his greatness and his loyalty to the product of professional wrestling, and that they move to keep it on there because wrestling fans, YouTubers, and to my subscribers and the Canvas Chaos Nation out there, wrestling was my childhood. That gave me what I needed, and that had made so many memories with me and my father. And then me and my co-host got together, and it made so many memories for us. Even though we got after WCW, but we rewatched it and we watched the memories together and wish we could have been together and been, known each other during that era because that was an era that'll never be duplicated. WCW was an amazing product at its peak and even towards the end, even though it wasn't as good, it was still there in a product. And Ted Turner made that possible because in the 70s he started professional wrestling on TBS Superstation. And then fans wanted it back when Vince took it over with Black Saturday, but that's a story for another day. This is a story about Ted Turner and his passing. I just wanted to come on here, do a quick little video, reminisce a little bit about what he did because like he said, he started TBS and TNT, but he started TBS for wrestling, then he created TNT, but then before TNT, I believe he started CNN in 1980, the first 24-hour cable network. So that was, a first in the industry. And that, like I said, it set the standard for Newsmax and Fox News and stuff like that. Sorry, I had a little brain freeze there for a second. And then we move on to when the second boom period in the 90s in WCW and the Monday Night War. And Ted Turner was a part of that. And for that, he will forever be etched in the world of professional wrestling, etched in the minds of the entertainment industry and the cable and satellite industry because of his ambitiousness and his greatness. And I want to send, like I said, my condolences out to Ted Turner. Ted, you up there in heaven, let's hope that you make some great choices up there in heaven. You will sorely be missed. Professional wrestlers around the world and entrepreneurs around the world have all been sending their heartfelt condolences to Ted Turner and his family all throughout social media today. So, Ted, we're going to love you. We miss you. My co-host is going to miss you. I'm going to miss you. The world is never going to be the same. The world of entertainment and cable and satellite is never going to be the same without you because you started it all. And you will forever be etched in that, and you will forever be missed. Thank you for the memories in professional baseball. Thank you for the memories, especially in the world of professional wrestling. For putting wrestling on TBS and giving it a chance and making it the highest rated show in the 70s and 80s. And then you buying the company and making it the number one rated company in the history of professional wrestling at that point, beating Vince McMahon 2 years because you can't say because he didn't do it by himself. Eric Bischoff was the cause of it. But with him being the owner, he's the only person I can think of that was an owner that beat Vince McMahon for almost 2 years in the ratings with the people he had behind him. He can say that, nobody else. He caused Vince McMahon to create the Attitude Era and made Monday nights a must-see for professional wrestling. And for that, Ted, I will forever love you for that. And the memories you made with my father can never be taken away because the minute we started talking, we started reminiscing about how wrestling was in the 80s and the 90s and everything and how much it meant to us and the memories you helped me create with my co-host. Rewatching the Nitros and reliving the memories and everything, even through the bad times with the Vince Russo shit. Excuse the word for this. But I'm going to get off here now. I love you guys. Ted, may you rest in peace. You are an amazing person. I will see you later. I will see you guys later. I love you guys. So to my YouTubers, to my subscribers, and to the Canvas Chaos Nation, and to the wrestling fans, thank you for giving me this time and this platform, Ted. Like I said, we're going to miss you. We love you. And one day we will hope to see you in heaven. when the time comes for us to go. But I'm going to get off here. I'll see you guys later. Talk to you guys later. Peace.